Guys, this is my first time ever on platform over on Step Up Britain. My reasons being, this is not what I planned today. My reasons being is that my Kelly Cotton
the
banana man meets the real banana man. This is the real. Last time I saw a banana, it was with a panda. It was a panda.
I'm the banana man.
It was the banana man. Welcome to the banana man. I'm just waiting for Amber to join us over on Step Up Britain. I'm just about to email her to say that we were live over on Step Up Britain. So anyway, to people that don't even know that I'm even here, because my page Kelly Cotton has been taken down, just to let you know that it's actually ended, that I've had my page taken down by Crackbook. So if all of a sudden
you did not pay enough bananas.
This is the man by my side. It says hello for the first time ever on a live. He's got my
You did not pay for
on.
your bananas. That's why they took your side down. They did not pay for your bananas.
Not pay for bananas.
No pay for bananas, you take your side down. Okay? Please continue. Yes.
So anyway, today, guys, Boris Johnson has made his speech. I've been over on Crackbook, and there's nothing, so there's been a few fireworks off here. So first of all, I just want to say, how do people feel that we, the British people, have now exited Britain? Have you got anything to say? How do you feel about this exit Britain?
More bananas, export bananas, more export.
So bananas. How are we going to export bananas now? We have, so here in the UK, we do not have banana trees. No banana trees?
No bananas.
No bananas. No banana trees in Great Britain.
No bananas.
Do we have does Britain have bananas? Where does this banana come from, Dean?
We have no bananas.
We have no bananas. Oh.
No bananas.
I'm in trouble already.
No bananas.
No bananas.
No bananas.
Who is this mysterious man behind me out there? The man behind the insane woman who's usually over on Kelly Cotton or Forced Adoption Exposed, Hold the Adoption Drive. I run many pages on Crackbook. This is the first time ever that I've actually come up live on Step Up Britain, because they've taken my Kelly Cotton down, and today is a really important day for everybody in Great Britain to go bananas, apparently.
National Banana Day today.
It's now National Banana Day today.
National Banana Day today. Please continue.
Today, Amber, on the 1st of February, Amber is now here. We can now stop praying around because Amber has finally arrived. Amber is finally in the room. Amber, as many people know, has been my admin for nearly 5 years. 5 years. How long have you been in my life, Banana Man? How long has Banana Man been in my life, Amber? Seriously, Amber, like he's joined us over on Step Up Britain tonight, and he has now announced that today is National Banana Day, and you or me is going to have to attend to the kids. Banana Man, one of us has to attend to the children.
Please continue.
So anyway, Amber, are you here? I just want to say a massive big thank you to Amber, who has supported me as a traumatized mother who was out in the media in 2010 with a thing called Challenge Britain, and it was a local paper business article as somebody, as a mother who was a single mother. Clearly I have a man in my life being a banana, so it is National Banana Day. So Amber, as from today, Dean has announced that it's National Banana Day, but this is a really, really good point. As from today in Britain, as far as I know, we don't grow bananas because bananas grow in Caribbean countries, as far as I'm aware, even coconuts. What else does Britain not have? What do we not have in here in Britain? Mangoes. What else do we not produce here? On an important note, what do we not produce
Crack.
here? We don't produce crack here. On an important note.
Bananas.
Bananas. On another note, what do we not produce here? Serious note, Mr. Banana Man, and lucky our children have settled.
Fish.
Fish, because that's actually outside Great Britain territory, because Great Britain is an island, and then we hit maritime law into the seas. So fish, seas, England, land. So actually we have no governance over the seas unless there is a perimeter between all of the places that roll around and where they decide that perimeter, and that's going to include even the fish that come into Great Britain. If you eat fish, you could be a vegan, you could be a vegetarian. Not everybody agrees with my points of views, philosophies. I'm just somebody who was in a wheelchair, had a catheter, had lots of doctors around me, lots of medical people, lots of what people know in Great Britain to be called multiple sources of agencies. I'm going to elbow him in a minute. Seriously, this is the first time he's actually been interested in anything that I do. He's actually very camera shy. He's been an absolute nightmare in the whole time I have been with him, because he doesn't do lives, he doesn't do crack books.
Who's this? Who are you talking about?
You.
Can I have my banana back, please?
Yes. But makes an important factor that right here in Great Britain now, why does politics affect us as the lay little people? My dad always said, never talk about politics and religion. And did you ever talk about politics and religion?
Always.
Always. Your house always talked about politics and religion?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere. So Banana Man talks about politics and religion.
When needed.
When needed. When needed.
Excuse me.
So,
I'm cold.
We've all had, well, I'm just about to start coming down with it. I had a fag earlier on, and you know when you get that really horrible taste in your mouth and you know you've got all of it coming. The two boys have had it, they're still going through it. Stop pointing that banana at my friend, ha ha ha, had to see it. And some guy named Banana Man. That's now your new nickname.
Right, okay. Anyway, I've got to go because I was just having some fun. Still.
I'm not allowed to introduce him, but not everybody comes out and does lives. And when somebody puts their head above the parapet, as the media said that I did in 2010, to have a discussion about the infrastructures of Great Britain, including our social cares and our welfare system, the NHS and all of this, the reason that I decided to interfere in the ways that policies are made is because the people that were making the policies were not coming from the point of view of the people who were requiring the support that was needed, be it that somebody's physical body was going through something or mental breakdowns, anything. We are human beings. He is absolutely, he's on day release today, aren't you? Have you meds? His meds are in the cupboard, and his nicotine addiction is under non-control. In fact, we're both meant to be completely quitting smoking after the first, well, I don't know, about some guy named Banana Man. You might actually recognize this man. And to those actually, just to formally introduce myself, you will probably, if you've never seen me before, then hello and welcome to my first time in 10 years, actually as the face of my own cause and campaign that was created in 2010. And I disappeared. And this is the first time that I've come back under that name and ran with what I do, and this one playing with my anxiety like crazy. And interesting that he's decided to come on today, because I did actually ask him to take over. He's going to just piss about like craziness on here. You could have joined us over on our joint account, but Dean and I aren't actually together. Seriously, I would love to actually formally introduce you. Can I formally introduce you if you're just going to irritate the hell out of me?
Your kids are awake.
Oh, 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, what is he going to do on my live? He's going to screw my life up, isn't he? Oh God.
I don't know if you can tell, but the kids are awake. Back in a minute.
Are you still entertaining everybody? Seriously, I'm going to introduce you to this complete and utter prick one day, and I love and adore him, and he's been my backbone since rescuing me off of Downing Street in 2015. So there's going to be many networks sort of going, what the frick is going on right now? So there could be people from my coaching world here, there could be people here from political, there could be people from media, there could be people here from any network in my life, because the original page that was created was called Challenge Britain, and what I was basically asking people to do was to take their masks off. So basically to just get an actual mirror. This is what I was asking people to do, to look in the mirror, have a look at yourself, look at your life, reflect on your life, and just stop for a minute. One good thing about getting sick is it makes you take time out of your life. And do you know what, actually? I wonder how the fuck Boris Johnson and Donald Trump and all of those political people cope the fuck with absolute morons and jokers and jesters and entertainers and campaigners and protesters and demoers and ridiculers and naysayers and belittlers and trolls and anti-hate campaigns against them. I mean, hats off to people who take it upon themselves to stand up for people who are less fortunate for themselves in a way, whether it's they've created it themselves, whether they've caused it in any way, whether they've had an unfortunate situation in their lives, whether they've just never had an opportunity to grow or change in their lives in a way that would take them on a path that was right for them. I stand in God and Jesus, as everybody knows, but I'm not here to preach, evangelize. This is something that's going on here in this realm here today in our world, as in today. Great Britain has made the decision. We, the British people, have voted to basically stand as an island on our own. And seriously, how do they do it? How do they actually stay fucking serious when they've got... Do you remember Elmo? Seriously, is anyone here who understands what Elmo means? Give me back Elmo. If you understand what hashtag give me back Elmo means. How the fuck these politicians coped with Elmo in the background all this time? Like, how did they not laugh? How did they take it seriously? And some people are going to think you're a right prick. Do you know that? This is why we can't live together.
Lisa, poor other bugger, like.
Dean's actually here visiting our children. This is actually how you co-parent of two parents who can't actually live together, who have still had children together, but still have to parent together, when one has to give up the home because the mother stays at home and father has to go out on the streets or sofa hops while he gets his shit together. So if you know me through Fathers for Justice or any of the campaigns to do with the family courts, then you'll know that, who knows, we might actually still get married in 6 months.
Sorry.
I think we're just co-parenting.
On that note, I shall leave you alone.
I got rid of him. Anyway, I can say whatever I like. It's my life. It's my thing. Existed way before Dean.
Did you
And
tell them about the wonderful
unfortunately-
juice that you made on a more serious note?
I didn't make it. You did. I'm not taking the credit
Yeah,
for
I
your
think
stuff.
it's lovely.
He's made a wonderful juice, actually.
Mm.
We went over to the food bank today. Well, I went over to the food bank. I actually only had to take. Did I take the kids? I took Elijah with me, didn't I?
I made that
Shiloh
sushi stuff behind.
And so actually, I'm stood in complete, utter, organised chaos. As you
Chili
want to see.
sushi.
I'm in normal, everyday living
Yes.
of-
Sorry for the sponsorship.
of tea that's not been eaten yet, children that are now in bed. And for those that don't know, well, probably today I have to sort of decide whether I consider myself a complete and utter failure. And 10 years ago, literally this week, I was baptized in a swimming pool in a community hall under a church.
What makes you think you're a failure? On a serious note, away from the banana thing and that, but what makes you think this?
Because too many people have committed suicide in the last 10 years that shouldn't have done.
But,
Didn't need to. And too many people
So what's the
have
solution?
had their children taken.
So what's the solution?
The solution is that we can't sit here and depend on a government that's only going to exist for the next 4 to 5 years and is going to change over.
Where'd
That
you get
we, the
funding from?
people,
Where are you getting your funding from?
my funding,
No, where are you going to get the funding from?
where do I get what to do what? Funding for what?
Where are you going to get the funding from to be able to do it if the government can't to sponsor it or put money into it? How are you going to do
Into what?
Into this thing?
What, Step Up Britain?
The solutions to the
The
problem.
solutions to the problems.
Yeah.
How do we fund? They said, here we go. Amber, pick up the questions. It's going to be, how do we fund the solutions to Great Britain? We're here for the, I cannot speak for the
It's
Eastern
not
world.
about solutions, but
I'm
it's
not
about
Eastern.
solutions.
I don't
What
understand
you're
the
talking
Eastern
about
philosophies.
is
We're
right
talking
now.
about a Western world, Western society, right, left, irrelevant, conservative, Labour, all of these things, irrelevant. Boris Johnson, we the people, so to say. I didn't vote. I voted for no confidence all the way, as you know. I watched Boris Johnson's video. I like him. I like what he said. Do I like him as a person? For a man who, I don't know what's true in the papers. I don't know what his family relationship is, just as you don't know what our family relationship is. And nobody will ever know our family relationship because our life is private, whether I joke around or whatever, whether I do lives, whether I go on to, what I choose to go on Crackbook is what I choose to go on Crackbook. The reason that I came out publicly was because I was gagged. And when you're gagged and you've had your children taken off of you and you're sitting there and you're trying to just speak to solicitors, but solicitors can't talk to you until you sign a legal aid form, because until they've got the information, and you're a person in a state.
Would you like some of my coconut?
I would actually
Mango.
put it into.
Hold on. Coconut, mango, 2 lemons, slices of ginger, half a spoonful of sugar, 3/4 milk, and to top it off, a pear. Would you like some?
Now that would save the NHS a fortune. This is the point. How do you fund the solutions
Nom, nom.
when the problems make money,
Feed me.
but the solutions don't? So when,
Like rocket fuel.
okay, so another question. Why do we have organic food that costs more money than normal veg?
You're not drinking any?
Yeah, I'm not going to drink it while I want it in a cup.
Oh, okay. Well, just have a little sip anyway. Keep your energy levels up. It's good. There's so much in there. It's lovely, isn't it?
The only thing is, though, I don't usually like bounties. And the reason I don't like bounties is because they're really bitty.
Yeah,
For many people who don't know, both of us are diagnosed with autism, by the way.
Everything.
But it was really nice and really wholesome.
Oh, no.
And I'm really looking forward to the stir fry tonight. But
Did you enjoy the stir fry that I made? Chili stir fry. Egg
really
fried
nice.
noodles, a little bit of chili powder, my own tomato sauce made up, not tomato sauce and ketchup, real tomato sauce proper, with some garlic, some ginger, some mushrooms, some green beans thrown in there as well. Proper wholesome, made with love. And to finish it off, this beautiful juice.
he's actually a really great cook. Like, when Dean is away, I don't actually eat very well. because he tends to cook. So for those people who don't know, I battle
Wholesome
with
food.
depression,
Food for the heart.
suicide thoughts,
Food for the heart and brain.
grief, deal with a lot of grief, trauma, get triggered off, high anxiety of the state. I don't trust police, medical people, ambulances included, social workers, housing officers, any of the people that are actually put into position here in Great Britain to serve people who are considered vulnerable, who are considered under mental health, learning difficulties, and disabled. The reason that I came out was because I originally ran a program called Disabled to Enabled. And what used to annoy me is when you deal with the services, you have to talk about your problems all the time. And I used to find it very draining, very tiring. This is the first time I've been on it. 10 years to wrap up, mate.
What?
This page and this mission, per se, was something that I didn't just create 10 years ago. It was something that when I was at school and they asked us what did we want to be when we grew up, that I started all of the steps of going to college and university and all of those things to go into what was meant to be my field, my options. So when you get to, say, 13, 14 in education as human beings, as children growing up, you have this section where you get to grow options. And this is where I actually took an interest in politics, because the options that I'd originally taken then got taken away because we then went from a Conservative to a Labour government. And I didn't understand any of this because my family didn't talk about religion and politics, other than my nan, who'd had a fag in her hand, and the thing who was a bit of a dot cotton, who used to read the Bible to me and talk about putting me in finishing school, so I wouldn't grow up, you know, from the council environment that I was in. And one of the challenges that government have, take the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as that's what seems to be coming out right now. And children that grow up in families and blah, 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 blah. We are meant to be independent people, as even Boris Johnson himself has said tonight. Independent thinking, free people, sovereign being. He says, as we are going into a time, he himself says that this is potentially the biggest.
Do I wake up tomorrow morning with 10 grand in my bank?
You could do.
Boris is so amazing.
Yeah, but you could have 10 grand in your bank tomorrow. Why would you want 10 grand? What would you do with 10 grand tomorrow?
So we can do some more projects and stuff.
What would you do with 10 grand tomorrow?
I'll just do what I continue doing, projects.
What would you do with 10? What would 10 grand actually
anything.
do
I'm
for
not
you
giving
right
my
now?
ideas away to you, but lots of projects I could do with 10 grand quite easily. Yes.
No, you
So
need 50
I
grand
don't
to
know.
do
I mean,
that's
the whole
undercutting
Boris
it.
Johnson thing.
How do you budget?
I mean, I did actually want to get out of the European Union. I wanted to for various reasons because.
Come and tell us about it. Why?
Well, no, various reasons being. Europe actually owes us in something like £3.5 trillion of money that we've been sort of lashing out to them, bailing people like Spain out, bailing Greece out, bailing Ireland out, and that's all good and well. Do you know what I mean? Doing them things, and yeah, it's for the common of the community, and I get all that. But the reality of it is that it was hitting our pockets and hitting the youth, and taxes were going through the roof because of this, because they have to get the money from somewhere.
Oh, he's going to turn it back on me on you.
So that's one part of it. I don't buy into the race and religion thing, about people. We've had people coming here for 400 years, from all ethnic minorities, so I don't buy into that load of old bollocks either. I think Boris Johnson talks quite a good game, but that's what he's there to do. He's there to teach you and talk to you and
for 4 or 5 years.
In some respects, to treat you, like children. The reality of the situation is yes, I'm glad that we've opted out of Europe now. I'm also very happy for our next generations because they're going to be able to start small businesses. They're going to be able to export their small business, whatever that business may be. They'll bring capital into the country. That will pass on through their families like it used to. That's how business used to be, run down right through the families, not just the rich families.
The candlestick maker.
Absolutely. So you know, it's good times. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that we are out of Europe. Absolutely.
So do you think today is a celebration?
But at the same time, we're not really out of Europe anyway. You know, let's be honest. We can all jump on an aeroplane or a boat. You know what I mean? And go to these places.
January 2021.
Nice? I would actually like to go to Spain and not have to see fucking westernized fucking bullshit sitting there like 20 Starbucks and all that. You know, I just spent a little time out in Barcelona on tour. And, you know, one thing I like about Barcelona is it's on the outskirts of it. It is being taken over by capitalist ways, but in the heart of it, it's still got that sort of community cafes, shops and things, you know, and I think it's something that needs to be protected, and I hope Spain do that as well. I mean, I'm not buying into the whole bullshit the media give and want to dribble out to everybody, spoon feeding you all the same nonsense they do time and time again. You know, it's a game, it's a business, you know, media's a business, it's all a business, let's just cut the bullshit. But yeah, I think he's talked a good game. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if that becomes the reality that we can all pull ourselves out of poverty? But let's be honest, you know, we have the highest unemployment of youth in Europe right now. You know, we're building more universities these days because we have nowhere for the youth to go to. That's the reality. They have no jobs, do you understand? So it's a short-term fix again. Stick them into higher education where they'll have to get into more debt from the banking system. It's a fucking, it needs all deregulating and sorting out properly. There's too much corruption involved in it all, right the way down the line, and everybody's getting fucked. You know, even the rich man's getting fucked, and that is the reality of it all. And you know, you can't pay off the debt that we're in anyway in 10 lifetimes. You know, you can't. That's the way it is. Even if you like want to pay another 20-30% on your taxes every year, which you're not going to, obviously, because you, of course, you'd have anarchy in the country tomorrow, because that's where it hits the people. When it starts hitting the people's pocket, this is when you will start having anarchy. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. In other
do you think
areas,
we'll have anarchy?
It's pretty much anarchy as it is. Well, how much more anarchy can you get?
Do you think the protests on the streets are going to get worse or go away?
I don't think it's about that anymore. Activism took a different part. It wasn't like what we were doing back in the 90s. You know, it wasn't like that. It's changed. Technology's changed. Attitudes have changed. Capitalism has changed. When capitalism changes, it will have an effect on the public right away from the top to the bottom.
And how is it going to change now we're out of the EU?
I don't see it changing much at all. I really don't. I just would like to be able to see our future generations and even myself be able to make that step up onto the ladder where we can afford to buy a home and contribute to society instead of us being shut out of society. Do you know what I mean? For these people to earn even more hundreds of thousands of pounds that they're earning every year. You know, it's you know, these times have not changed since the biblical Bible days. You know, it's exactly the same going on. The difference is you have nice fancy cars, technology's moved forward.
But Boris made that point tonight, didn't he?
If I took all that technology away and all them nice shiny things, you would think you were living in something like the 14th century.
But Boris said that this is the biggest change since the Victorian era.
It's funny, isn't it? But
and in the Victorian era, what is the important thing? I mean, one of the important things, I mean, and I think Harry has made a big statement by walking away, and lots of other stories behind that. Let their family deal with it their way. But you know, if this is the biggest change,
why do people seem to have an issue that Harry wants to move away and be with his family and actually step down from his?
I think it's brilliant.
You know, can you imagine a life of being behind fucking prison doors all the time? Do you know what I mean? You know, it's not fun for the guy, man. You know, people don't seem to take this into consideration. They all want to jump on the bandwagon about she's dominating. They say behind every good man's a good woman, mate. She is a good woman. This is not about being black. This is about a strong, powerful woman that people don't particularly like for whatever reason, because of her power. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean, she generally has nice, good energy about her. And I think that's a threat to people. And I think that change obviously puts the wind up the media and whoever else, you know what I mean? But I think good luck to the pair of them. Good luck to the pair of them. I wish them nothing but the best, mate. I really genuinely mean that as well. Look, they're still going to make money from media. They're still going to be able to build their charities and give back to society. And I think instead of focusing on what they can't be doing, I think you should be focusing on what they're going to be doing, which is a lot of charity work. She's a massive advocate for charity work, giving back. You know, and so is he. You know, he is like that. He's very much like that. So I applaud them going their own way and making their rod off their own back in some respects. There's other rods holding them up, you know. you don't just break away from your family. So, you know, it's another media spin. It's another blah, blah, blah situation.
What about the monarchy as a whole? What do you think should happen with that?
Well, they're obviously dissolving it, aren't they? Slowly but surely.
You do believe that they are dissolving the monarchy? Do you believe that the monarchy should be dissolved?
I think
What do you think of the monarchy?
I think you'll have a king. I think you'll have a king. And we should have a king anyway. We should, no disrespect to the
Was
Queen.
Jesus not the king?
No disrespect to the Queen, but I think she sort of knows that in a lot of respects as well. We should actually have a king, and we should have a king.
Yes.
You know,
But what is a king then?
As we've come back to the country being itself again, then let's put a king in the place while we've made this change.
So if we have a queen, who is Boris Johnson?
I mean, I would like to say to them all, just go home. Do you know what I mean? Just sell up your goods. You know what I mean? Give the money back to the people. Bit of a Robin Hood style way of thinking, really. I would like to see that one day. You know, where people are not suffering. You know, there is opportunity because there is money being pumped back in. But the problem is, it's all right.
Do we need money?
The problem is, it's all right running around throwing money around at charities, but at the end of the day, you forgot your own people. You know, we still have huge amounts of homelessness here. You know, I see it. I travel all over the place. I've traveled all over the world. You know, and England is still, it might think it's at the forefront of everything, but it isn't actually.
Do you think that Britain is at the forefront?
No, but it isn't. But it isn't ethically and morally.
Well, no, it came 100 and
it might look in capitalist ways, but ethically and morally, it's not looking the greatest.
Ethically and morally.
Absolutely not.
And then here lays the corruption.
Yeah, that's where it did. That's where.
So how do we flip over the line of governments that we've got that is not working in the best interest of the people if we want to use a hit?
They will never work for the best interest of the people. All the time the people keep feeding it. But it's a never-ending cycle. Without their jobs, they can't feed it. Without
racket.
I've always said it's an employment racket. Yes, it is an employment racket. Whether it's designed that way or not, so that's optional, and that's optional.
The B movie.
Also debatable.
The B movie.
I don't want to go into that right now because I'm writing a book about this sort of stuff, you know, as well as my own biography for it all. So I don't want to go too deep into it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a little inkling of what I think really about the last sort of 6 months of it. I don't take too much notice of the media. I'm so focused on doing what I need to be doing right now. So. You know, and that is my main focus.
And I think that is the point. That is what Step Up Britain is about. It's about actually, you know, taking back your own power. It's about putting your own life in order, because at the end of the day, whatever you think of me, the Lord will judge me on the day that I will be judged. I'm not here to be judged by anybody. I'm not here to be judged by a court who took my children. I'm not here to be judged by social services or the police or even Dean or you guys. I will be judged on the day that I will be judged. But the fact is, we, the British people, have to get our own lives in order. I mean, at 41 and Banana Man is 42, then, you know, there is what does success mean for a couple of 2 children? But if people know that we met in 2015 on Downing Street.
How do you determine success? How do you determine
Can I actually put you on? It's easier.
No, I mean, how do you determine success? I mean, the fact that you have a home, the fact that we have running water, the fact that we have food, the fact that children are very, very happy, you know, I see that as quite successful within itself.
And coming from Downing Street, you know, with a backpack and a suitcase.
Well, that's, you know.
And a given blessed car that we slept in.
It's, you know, it is what it is, as you say, but is it going to change? I mean, the words of flattery will get you everywhere. Actions speak louder, I sort of think.
But we can't expect Boris Johnson to do it for us.
Well, no,
we can't expect him to come and mow our garden and
I'm not saying it's about mowing the garden, but at the same time, he knows what's going on. He's, you know, the man's not a buffoon. You know, he's obviously an intelligent guy.
But can you relate to the common people? He is the head of the commoners.
Of course he can. Anybody can relate to the common people.
People on the streets. People who are caught in heroin, I think coke and weed, or if you want to class weed as a court,
I don't think that's neither near or there in some respects.
Prescription medication, depression. What do you think of mental health?
Tony Blair. Did Tony Blair ever care? You know what I mean? If a million people marched out and say
back to corruption. Back to corruption. He was never served. Back to corruption. Prince Andrew.
I do think though. One thing I do know is that we are most definitely, which I you know, very positive about being on my travels, is there's a lot of peace going on over there, and it's not as angry as it used to be. It's not. Now I don't know if that's because people have been so taken down by media and money worries and whatever else. Which that's another point.
You said something to me quite poignant when we met on Downing
Street.
Street.
Just down to generally, people are becoming a lot more peaceful now.
No, but you said something quite poignant at Downing Street when we met, and you said, "Do you really think you would be able to go outside another country and do what you're doing now?
Absolutely.
They would have shot you." And that really hit me. And all of a sudden, I thought, "Shit." I know countries that if I tried going outside my government with a megaphone, and they would shoot me dead. Absolutely. And they wouldn't just shoot me dead, they'd probably even hang me or castrate me, they would imprison me, they would...
I'd like to leave you with this. If you had true freedom, mate, you'd all be dead. Do you understand? Freedom is not what it's all cracked up to be, believe me, it's not. You don't kill each other. What? You kill each other.
What if we got rid of government and
give you freedom? Absolutely.
If today Boris Johnson,
I'm telling you now, you'd be dead within less than 50 years.
If Boris Johnson sat down today and said, right, I've got you this far, you've exited, you're now an island, you're on your own.
How do you see freedom?
There is no government, there is no monarchy,
how much do you want of it?
There is no NHS, there is no education, there is no Tesco's, there is no imports of food, there's no bananas, because we don't grow trees with bananas. Actually, I don't believe we have a hot enough country for it.
Could you imagine if you had freedom, all of you, like real freedom? I think you'd be dead.
Would you wear clothes? Would you not?
I think you would. I think you'd all eat each other. I think actually, I think you would. Look at
what was that? Was it Lost Boys? What was that? What was that thing where they were on the island together with Piggy? We read at school. We all read the book at school with the kids that were on the island. What was it called? Lost Boy, not Lost Boys. Lost. Piggy they ended up trying to eat Piggy, didn't they? Do you remember the book that we all read at school, Robbie? You stayed at school, but you must have read a book or watched a film, and I can't remember what it's called. Huff and a Puff and the Blew His House Down. But they all were on an island, and I think it was a load of kids, and they ended up basically eating each other because they had to survive. So me and you tomorrow, we haven't got to get up to clean the streets, have we? Have you got to get up to clean the streets?
Okay, so I'm giving you freedom. You don't need to clean the streets tomorrow.
Yeah, but look at what it
would look like. So that's a job. Hold on a minute. So he's not cleaning the streets.
If we didn't have Rastaman down there and all them people running around
so the rubbish is piling up all over the place. Okay, so there's your first mistake straight away.
But are you going to go and pick it up?
In this world of freedom.
Are you going to go and pick it up?
I don't think you quite understand what I'm trying to say to you about this word freedom.
Here's a question.
It's quite interesting. Do you know why I say this? Because somebody put this to me about 15, 16 years ago. And I really did ponder on it for at least 18 months about it. And I really sincerely come up with a conclusion that if you really had true freedom, I really firmly believe the human race would probably be dying at more of a quicker rate than you could.
How do you define freedom? How do you find freedom?
You'd be savages,
yeah,
because you're already savages. You're already savages. Savage the planet. You're savages. Do you understand? You're missing the point. You've been conditioned. We all have. It's not me being exempt from it all either. I played my part. But we are savages. We savage the planet. We savage animals. We savage our relationships. We are savages. Now hold on a minute. You want freedom now without? Yeah. Do you understand now?
But if you believe in the Lord, you believe that He gave us freedom.
No, I'm talking about the way this. I'm talking about how the system.
What choices is Boris Johnson going to give us living in Britain?
The system is set to do this. It's what it's there to do. You know, it's the survival of the fittest. It's the survival of the fittest. You know, the more man that wants to go and rip people off or stitch people up or make dodgy deals will get the Bentley. You know, how many loyal people do you know that have made their money from, you know, from by getting a Bentley? Honestly, I mean,
that's great.
This is the point I'm trying to say to you. We are savages right the way down the spectrum, and then all of a sudden you want to say there's some freedom. You deplete.
But doesn't freedom come with personal responsibility?
And that's just down to basic, you know. But
if I pick up my own litter and you pick up your own litter, then we don't need anyone to pick the litter up.
It's very strange, this word freedom at times.
So if you don't piss on a tree and I don't piss on a tree, then there shouldn't be a problem. We get every single person in the world to not piss on trees, pick their own litter up and take responsibility.
Yeah, right.
And who's responsible to put the houses? Because I can't build a house. You can build a house, but I can't build a house.
Who's going to feed you?
Who's going to provide the food?
Yeah, don't forget, he wants freedom, mate. You don't want to do any food for you anymore, mate. Okay, you don't want to feed you anymore.
Well, who's
'Cause
going
he's
to put
off,
petrol in my car? Are you going to put
This-
petrol in my
this is
car?
the thing,
Are
see?
you going to go and get the oil
Because
out?
we're
Or
such
just
an
get the petrol?
organised breed of people that's how we work. We go to a petrol station, we go shopping. You know, they're all fucking cubicle points. Yeah.
You get to A to B on your foot, though.
Your brain works pretty in an asymmetrical way. Everybody's pretty much does, and that's because
To get up, to wake up in the
you have
morning.
been conditioned to do this.
So to wake up in the morning, yeah, and to have faith that
Everything
Boris
you
Johnson
do
has
is
got the
all
streets clear,
asymmetrical. Everything.
safe. What about safety? If everyone's savages then, and we have no policy and policing, not that the police are actually protecting. So if savages,
Are you recording?
yeah,
Oh.
savages.
I've only got 2 people.
No, it doesn't do that.
Oh,
Wait until I finish it. It will.
Oh, I've only got 2 people.
Wait.
Hello, 2 people.
There's already messages here. So anyway, go to that point.
But would you agree that if you had
How?
how do you sit with the word freedom then?
Freedom to me
Yeah.
is an illusion, because when I get up tomorrow, I have a baggage that I have to keep on me every day to keep this roof over the heads, to keep the churning going of keeping the fridge full, to make sure it's plugged in, that the electric's paid, that the water comes out the tap because the bill has been paid, but we can't cut water off in the UK, by the way. The electric light is on, so every day I've got to get up to keep that going, and in order to juggle that and keep that going, I have to keep getting up to do the same thing. Now I'm lucky.
It takes time, it takes money.
It takes resources and funds. And when we come into this home as well, we came in with nothing. Thank God for Free Cycle, thank God for Gumtree, thank God for people who leave things outside that are free to a good home. Thank God to those people, like seriously, because our whole home has been done. Car boots, charity shops, no credit card. We don't have one credit card between us. I actually now have a current bank account. Barclays cash card, that is it. Chip and pin. So anyway,
Yeah, so
10 minutes to go of me usually doing a live, 20 minutes.
You can now pause that to rewind it to get the numbers off our cars.
And put money in it if you want, because you can't get anything out that, it doesn't matter. And it's like, it's what it's about, it's fear, isn't it? People said, like, if you go on Foursquares, don't go on Foursquares because people will know, you know, where you are when you're there. Don't tag on Crackbook where you are when you're going to be there, because people will be able to follow you. Don't put your bank details up because people will be able to commit fraud. Don't do this because somebody will do this. Don't let your children climb up there because they might get hurt. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. We live in a health and safety world. Now, we've got an opportunity as a people of Britain right now to really actually take the masks off. For those that don't know me, and whatever name I didn't call him earlier on, he usually has an orange, yellow mask on. We usually have a butterfly with anonymous at the back. As in the media in 2010, to say that I'd learned a load of strategies and I was implementing them, and those strategies were giving me the sort of freedom that I wanted as a mother who didn't want to get up and put my children into nursery and then into primary school and high school and college and university in the same area, to live in the same house under a mortgage of 24 years. I made the decision that I didn't want to do that. And what I basically said in the media was that because of the condition that I'm diagnosed with, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, for those that don't know, dislocated sublocks, whatever you think, blah, 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 blah. Diagnosis is diagnosis. But when somebody has a challenge from where they are to where they want to be, you've got to ask, is there...
Jeff fell off the sofa.
Oh, you're joking. Is he all right? Have you checked him? Is he in your hands or do I need to come off? That's got it. Tell me if I have to come off. So anyway, we as individuals basically can't do everything ourselves. I can't fit a kitchen cupboard and put that in. I can't make a Hoover. I can't... Well, I could actually probably make you a cup, but not as amazing as that. I could make you a coffee. I couldn't actually harvest or grow the coffee or have the coffee or sugar, or I could make pasta, but in order to have the ingredients from pasta, it's got to come from somewhere. It's got to be grown somewhere. And our world is created in such a way because we harvest and grow things in a different way. There are different climates and different places in different parts of the country, because some things grow there but don't grow in other places that grow in other places. And we were, prior to, I can't think what year it was now, in the Industrial Revolution, which was basically steel and manufacturing and factories and production, we're now in what's called like the self-entrepreneurial, where we can. He's taking the piss next to me. I'm going to shoot him in the head.
Sorry?
How did I have children with you again?
That.
How did we have two
shot in the
boys
head, do you
together?
understand? You just said
How
that
did
live
we
on
have
camera.
2 children together?
You just said that you're going to shoot me live on camera. So if I get shot dead now,
I said I was going to smash the Xbox
then
or
I'm
kill
going
the
to
kids,
have
and
to
it took
come
my
back.
kids off me.
And I'm going to have to.
So if actually something happened to you, then
Yeah.
I would be a conspiracy to a crime. But who are you going to call if there's no policing and policing?
Ghostbusters, mate. See London car. Ghostbusters.
How did I have 2 children?
Hey, you free little ghost.
So anyway, guys, for those who have no idea what this live is about over here on Step Up Britain, I usually do an hour live over on Kelly Cottam, but yesterday my account was taken down and unpublished by Crackbook because of breach.
Because you didn't give them enough bananas. I told you this
I didn't give them
yesterday.
enough bananas.
No,
No, because you have to pay for all the public pages as well. That's why you
I
don't get
told
high
you
reach.
20 kilo bananas. How many bananas did you give them? You only give them 10 kilo bananas.
1 banana, 2
No,
bananas,
how many
3 bananas,
listen,
4,
I'm being serious.
5
How many
bananas, 6
how many
bananas,
bananas
7
did you
banana
give
more,
them?
8 banana,
I'm asking
9
you.
banana, 10 banana more. We know
I'm just
bananas
asking
in
you.
Great Britain no more.
This is fucking bonkers, mate. She is absolutely a sandwich short of a
Oh,
picnic.
come back, Banana Man.
But I'm being serious
Come
with
back,
you.
Banana Man.
I'm being serious with you.
We know bananas in Great Britain no
They shut
more.
her other site down because I did say that she had to order them 20 kilos of bananas. Okay, she only delivered 10,
And nor
and
is
she
my,
wonders why her site was shut down.
and nor was my ex
Come on now.
End It campaign stuff here ready for today to launch for
So-
13th to not join me on my live to support the
Hard
End
work.
It campaign, because it was End It that closed my Crackbook down.
Who did?
End It movement.
Why did they do that? Why do I do
Breach
this?
of branding rights. Copyrights.
They whooped your ass.
Yeah, it's mine though. It's mine. I can tell you exactly where and when it was all created.
Ninja starred you out.
Sitting outside a burger van with a bunch of people at Creation Fest in Cornwall, hanging around playing basketball with Lindsay and all of that, with the LZ7 and stuff, waiting to go on stage, ready to play This Little Light of Mine, and us all putting
This
kids'
little light of mine.
red X's on our hands to say End
This
It.
little light of mine. Gonna let it shine.
I was gonna join you then. We've got creaky chairs in here because they're all free cycle.
Hey, free little ghost.
But who are you going to call then if I shot you in the head? One, you'd be dead, but...
I can't believe you even gone back to that already.
But who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? If you survived it, who are you going to call if there's no NHS? If you had to pay for your services and you were bleeding out of your leg... If I shot you and I missed your artery and you were still alive,
You know what?
who would you call if you were half bleeding
Kelly.
over the pavement?
Kelly.
Who's going to pick you up off
You
the
will be
pavement,
shooting
half
me.
bleeding in?
Kelly, you will not be shooting me.
Well, no, I'm more likely to miss. But what if I shot you in the leg?
I don't care if you shoot me 5 times, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, but if I shot you in the leg and you were bleeding all over the place, yeah, and you were on the floor and we didn't have an ambulance because nobody's going to work tomorrow because we've got no pots of money and there's no budget and we don't pay for our NHS and there is no
Kelly,
NHS.
there'll be plenty of budget for your coffin.
For my coffin. Who's going to pay for my coffin? Who's going to give a shit if I died? If you shot me in the head, who would give a shit and pay for? How do I pay for my coffin if I'm dead?
I wouldn't shoot you alive. Why would I shoot you alive?
But why would you shoot me dead?
Why would you? You're the one that's gone back to that whole conversation.
Because what I'm asking is, if I shot
What are
you,
you asking?
because if I shot you, yeah, if I shot you and there was no policing and no policing, and your mum's crying because you're dead and it's your funeral and stuff,
Well, Jacob, there's your freedom.
then who's going to call you? Who are you going to call?
Well, exactly. There's your freedom. There's freedom for you. So you'd savages, basically. Exactly. Savage.
So if someone broke into our home, yeah, how do you deal with your community if some savage, if we're all a bunch of savages, yeah, and we've got no governance, no monarchy, no policing, no NHS, no fire service, because people would burn things down. How many trees would get burned down? If we were left with no governance here in Great Britain?
Most well-advanced society that's going to die of ignorance. It's ridiculous. It is. It's obscene.
So anyway, I don't know if Amber can't share this over to my crack book. I think she can share it into my office account, but the people in my office account are not the people who follow me over on live. So if you're just catching up and you've just been watching this live for the first time and thinking, what is this craziness? There is always a method to madness. And that is that we, the British people today, are now on an island, and we now have to go under new sets of rules if we want to get on a plane, if we want to get onto a boat, if we want to swim across the channel, because somewhere there's going to be a border, and that border is going to exist, and then we interchange between each of those connecting borders on how we freely travel around the world, as we are allowed to do. Under control manifestation that we have, the governance that we've had has kept us rooted under a mortgage of 25 years, with children getting up, going to school, with you getting up to go to work, to feed the queen bee, blah, 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 blah. That can come to an end if you choose to do that. The internet, I'm not saying, is the way to go. I'm not coming here to go, hey, go build your business on the internet, because that's all going to go one day soon. And building on the internet is not the way to go. So I'm not here to go, hey, let's go buy Bitcoin and all get rich tomorrow and everybody lives happily ever after. I'm not here to give you an illusion, a false hope, a false dream. But I am here to say that children have a right to go to the museum more than once a week. Well, it's not actually once a week with school. It's maybe once a year. Children have a right to be out free playing. Children have rights to, and we, the adults that make these decisions, need to remember. We're going to open up a load
of free schools.
Free schools. Here we go. Can I actually put you up now? We're talking about free schools.
We're going to open up loads of free schools. That's what we're doing.
We are literally going to be starting with the two boys, really. So it's basically looking for land where the two boys are going to grow up, and then bringing other people in who are going to be on the land.
Schools where your children will go to, not be dictated to, but where they can go and be free.
So if they get up in the morning and they want to sit,
well, no, they'll have a set group of lessons, but it'll be group of lessons that they want to do. So it'll be like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to go and do sports for 2 hours. Okay, you go and do sports for 2 hours.
But how do you cater for that?
Oh, well, I like doing maths. Okay, well, I don't want to do maths. I want to go and play for a bit. Okay, you can go and play for a couple of hours.
But how do you make a child read and write and learn? And the first 5 years or so. Obviously, once a child comes into the world, just to say, the first point of call for any mother is straight away as midwife and a health visitor. As a mother, I will stand here and say thank you to the NHS that we have had.
I don't see why kids can't self-govern their own schools.
Why kids can't? So no headmaster.
With help, yeah, obviously. But the reason we have a generation of kids that are just being fucking programmed for a machine. They know that.
University students passing now as they're coming in tonight at 5 to 1.
Yeah, they're getting more education, but the problem is, where's the jobs? You can't start building universities and colleges.
We're back to jobs.
Everywhere.
How do we?
Well, you can't be.
How does Boris Johnson create jobs if people don't set up businesses?
Look, you've got shops closing down all over the place. I don't think you're really looking at the big picture. You've got shops closing down everywhere. You've got pubs closing down everywhere. People can't afford to run businesses because the high levels of rentage on the properties are too high. So they're closing down. You've got Amazon that's ruling the game, eBay are ruling the game. These sort of sites are
rentals, mortgages.
It's a lot cheaper you've got all that to start thinking about. So when you start having to think about that, people are getting more time on their hands. So you're going to have to free up that pressure. Now, how are you going to feel about that pressure? What, sticking in more debt? Probably you have a huge suicide rate like you'll never believe. And then that's the harsh truth. But
and people in depression,
so
suppression, backing mental health on benefits.
You've got to find solutions. So I think
before we go, because we've got to wrap up, 5 more minutes to go, just to debate one question. In order to have a home over your head, who should provide it? Social housing by governance, or people buying and building their own?
I'll just give you the maths. The whole world can have £1,027 a week. That's just money in circulation around the world. Do you understand me? So there is no need for it. There's no need for any of it. There's no need for us to be living like this. There's no need for anybody and everybody to live up to a standard of living. But the only way you're ever going to get rid of it, mate, or not get rid of that standard of living, but everybody pulls up to a standard of living, is when you start freeing up the money, you start freeing up things, and you knock the fucking corruption and the greed out of the fucking game. And when that starts to happen, you know what I mean?
Because we've both had money, not had money.
And when you start to educate your children and your children's children, you know, through good ethics and morals, that's when you start to have a life. That's where it starts at grassroots with the youth and younger generations. You know, they are your next generation. You can't run away from that. So, you know, you've got to start setting the platform down for them to be able to carry that forward. And I firmly believe that a lot of these youth would like to go to proper free schools where they've got more time to be able to free think, not have to be so pushed in.
But are you talking still with
this sort of great highness of grades, when actually over a period of 10, 12 years, they will get there anyway. Yeah, it's about enhancing what they.
But why shouldn't parents raise their own children?
So I like all that. I think it's
before we go then, last question: should the system raise our children, or should we raise our children?